Antonio Conte has been admitted into a mental asylum after his war of words with Jose Mourinho, which ultimately led to his departure from Stamford Bridge. His replacement? Me, of course. Welcome everyone to my brand new Football Manager 2018 series with Chelsea. Now, I'm treating this as kind of a spin-off series to what I would normally do, and that's of course do a series with Manchester United, simply because after everything that's gone on recently between Mourinho and Conte in real life, their war of words, Conte cracking up and so on, and I mean Chelsea just haven't looked like champions this season. They've been pretty inconsistent, and I wouldn't be surprised if Conte gets a sack at some point, even before the end of the season. We'll have to wait and see. But I saw this as an opportunity also to get a different perspective on life in the Premier League. Payton, Chelsea manager, versus Jose Mourinho, Manchester United manager. Bit of a reverse in roles, if you will. Can I be as successful as Jose when he was at Chelsea? Can I win more than 3 Premier League titles, or even the Champions League? I mean, you look at what Chelsea have won in their past 6 Premier League titles, the majority of those coming from Jose, the special one, when he first arrived in 04, won that title in 05, then in 06, and then in just recently in 2015. They've also won the Champions League, as we know, their first ever Champions League title, thanks to Roberto Di Matteo. You'd never expect it, would you? You'd think someone like Jose Mourinho would be able to lead someone like Chelsea to the Champions League title, but Roberto Di Matteo, incredible stuff. And if I remember right, he got the sack the same season. Doesn't make sense. They have 4 Community Shields. We've got to play in the Community Shield to start this series soon against Arsenal. The lowest they've ever been in the league was that doomed season with Mourinho, probably his last ever at Stamford Bridge in 15-16, as they were in the bottom half of the table. I have done a bit of business then in this summer transfer window. I want to try and get it all out the way and done with so I can get them integrated as quick as possible with the current players already at Chelsea. Although Owen Windal, I think that's how you pronounce his name, won't be joining the Chelsea squad, not for a year anyway. We've signed him from AZ Alkmaar, but I've sent him back on loan. And I know Chelsea, they already have a huge list of under-23s out on loan, but it just made sense, this deal. He's 17, got great potential, great future ahead of him, but let's leave him in Holland, let him get some game time over there, because I doubt he'll get any this season with Marcos Alonso in that position. You can see that he'll be on 2,500 a week, and his contract with Chelsea comes to an end in 2020. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on his development this season over in Holland at AZ Alkmaar. Some of you will remember Nico Elvedi from my previous FM18 series with Borussia Mönchengladbach. What a centre-half, and he's still at the age of 20. This deal cost us a lot more. He has joined from Borussia Mönchengladbach for 24 million, and it is another loan-back deal, so he's staying in the Bundesliga for another season, as I just didn't really see space for him this year, because we've got David Luiz, Gary Cahill, Rudiger, Andreas Christensen, another former Borussia Mönchengladbach player. But I think Elvedi, he's going to be a player that'll suit the Premier League just nicely in a couple of years' time. You can see that there's the confirmation that he'll be at Gladbach for this season. He's going to be on 34,500 a week at Chelsea. His contract expires in 2021. And there you can see we signed him for 24 million. That's the lowest I could go with Mönchengladbach. I had a transfer budget of 77 million, so it hasn't depleted it that much. And it just goes to show that I'm that confident in Elvedi succeeding here at Chelsea. Let's just hope he has a good season at Mönchengladbach and he doesn't get hindered by any injuries or doesn't get started at all. And finally, Daley Blind has joined Chelsea. He was transfer listed by Manchester United. You know, we saw Matic in the summer move to United. Why can't Blind move to Chelsea? And you're probably also thinking, well, hold on, you've already signed Nico Elvedi, who's going to be on loan for the season, and Owen Windal, who's going to be on loan for the season. Why do you need any more defensive-minded players? Well, as we all know, that Daley Blind is a pretty versatile player. Defensive mid, central mid, can play out as a wing back, and that's what he's going to be doing. He's just going to be drifting all over for us, filling in any gaps that might pop up throughout this season. He's signed on a rotational contract, so he's quite happy with that, and he's signed for 15.25 mil. So again, I think this is a decent deal. Some people don't really enjoy Daley Blind on Football Manager, but I always seem to get the best out of him. I like having him in my team. He reads the game well. He's a patient player. I like my games to be built on patience, and he's going to fit in just right here, I think. I'm also looking at bringing in one more player, and I was thinking Mesut Ozil. Now, if you remember, Cech went to Arsenal from Chelsea. Why can't Ozil come from Arsenal to Chelsea? I know they're kind of rivals, Chelsea and Arsenal, but we saw that business happen. Why can't we see this now? Arsenal transfer listed Ozil for 30 mil. I think this is a fantastic deal. I think we could bring him to Stamford Bridge. Again, I think he'll fit right in, just like Daley Blind. You can see that he's mainly a number 10, but he can play out wide. And if I do bring him to Chelsea, he will probably play over on the right side here. As Chelsea are kind of lacking in forward players. I mean, if we look at squad depth, we know that they've got Hazard, Willian, Pedro and Kennedy. I'm not sure about Kennedy going forwards. I think he's just left on loan in real life as well for Chelsea, another player out on loan. And I like to have 4 wing players that can play on the left and the right. Victor Moses, he's mainly going to be a wing back on the right side. Central midfield as well. We're just lacking that one player to fill that void, I think. And Ozil can do that. He can play central midfield. Not that it's his best position. But as you can see, Hazard, Pedro, Willian. Hazard will play on the left. Pedro sometimes on the right. He's injured at the moment though. And something else I need to press on with as well is signing a new striker. Something that Antonio Conte is tearing his hair out. Well, his wig out at the moment. Because they only really have one talisman in the side, and that's Morata. And he doesn't really score that often. And the amount of names that have been bashed about to sign for Chelsea: Andy Carroll, Peter Crouch, Ashley Barnes. No. If I was a Chelsea fan, I would be feeling pretty frustrated to think that one of those players could be signing before transfer deadline day. I would not be happy at all. I mean, this is a team that won the Premier League just last season. They should be aspiring for more than that. So that's something else we need to press on with in this save. I have played through pre-season. You can see we do play Arsenal next at Wembley in the Community Shield final, but what a start to the season. We got Liverpool at Anfield, then we've got Arsenal again at Stamford Bridge, and then we've got Everton at Goodison Park. But we've got to turn our attention to that Community Shield final against Arsenal next. We drew our first pre-season friendly against Austria Vienna, finished 1-1 there, with Willian getting on the score sheet in the 69th minute for Chelsea. One thing I did do throughout pre-season, as you'll notice in the team sheet, I started the strongest team possible. Massive risk to take, but I've got to try and keep them as close-knit as possible. Up next, we beat Hamburg 1-0, with the only goal coming through Andreas Christensen. Then we returned to Stamford Bridge to smash AC Milan at 4-1. Goals coming from Willian, Kennedy and N'Golo Kante. I was really impressed with this performance. The result, brilliant. Pedro did get injured in that game and he's going to be out for a few months. Then we were on the road again to play Alberics. I think that's how you pronounce their name. And we beat them 4-0 too. And then I lost my first game in charge of Chelsea in pre-season, so it doesn't matter too much. It was all about fitness. That's my excuse. It was away to Besiktas and it finished 1-0. So up next, we've got Arsenal in the Community Shield final at Wembley. And this is my team at the moment that I've got to work with throughout this season. We've got quite a few injuries. Let's go along to the medical centre here. So Eden Hazard's probably Chelsea's best player. He's still recuperating from a broken ankle. He's got 6 to 12 days left, so he'll miss the Community Shield final, but hopefully he'll be back for maybe the opening game of the new season against Liverpool, maybe even the next Arsenal game at Stamford Bridge. We also have Chalobah out injured 2 to 4 weeks, Pedro out for 4 to 7 weeks. I thought that said months. Could have swore they said he was out for a month or two. Bakayoko also out injured. He's only got 3 to 7 days left, so he'll be back for the start of the season, and so will Victor Moses. So pre-season kind of had an effect on some of the players. They did pick up a few knocks here and there. We worked them to the bone, but hopefully that'll all pay off for the start of the season. We take a look at some of our key players then in this side. So at first, David Luiz was kind of a bit of an outcast throughout December for Chelsea. I'm not sure if he was injured or not, but there was a lot of talk that Conte was leaving him out of the side when they probably could have done with him. Well, he's going to be in my first team plans this season, even though he is at the age of 30. This is what I mean. We do need to start thinking about filling in that back four, really, for Chelsea, as we do have some ageing defenders, especially with Gary Cahill too. Marcos Alonso, another key player, he's going to be filling in down that left side as expected. He will be my first team wing back, although with Daley Blind coming on the scene now, we could be rotating here and there if need be throughout the season. And then, if we go back to the team here, then there's N'Golo Kante, who won Player of the Season last year, Chelsea's Premier League winning season. We need to get him back to his very best, although that shouldn't really be too difficult. Such a fantastic central midfielder, tireless midfielder, someone that will never give up, will keep working hard. He is a workhorse, really, for Chelsea in central midfield. So looking forward to using him in this save without doubt. And he's still at a decent age of 26, yet to reach his peak. So if we keep moving on, there's Kennedy, Willian, Morata. We'll have a look at Morata in a moment. But Willian, also going to be another key player this season. He's currently wanted by Real Madrid. That's new. I didn't know that Real Madrid were in for Willian. But if any bids come in, I'm going to try my best to keep him at Chelsea, reject that, but I think the lure of Real Madrid, he'll want to move, won't he? Morata, who's signed in the summer in real life for Chelsea from Real Madrid, he's going to be someone that we need to get him on the score sheet. He didn't even score 1 goal in pre-season, started 4 games, came off the bench once, an average rating of 6.4. It's poor for pre-season. You want to be getting off. You want to be hitting the ground running. You want to be getting off to a good start. And he failed to do that. I'm just hoping he's saving his best performances for the games that matter. Now, I'm going to be running with this same formation that I ran with in my Borussia Mönchengladbach series. It worked a treat there in the Bundesliga, and I'm confident it'll be exactly the same here with Chelsea. I think we can go on and win the Premier League with this formation, with this system, with the calibre of players as well. No doubt. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling excited. I can't wait to get things started now. And you guys can see all that in action in the next episode at Wembley as we take on Arsenal in the Community Shield. But for now, that's it for this introduction. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.